Hi everyone, my name is Mame and I'm a member of the Sɛnkɔ project where we focus on cultural preservation via knowledge transfer. I am here at Happy Arts Academy with a few members of the team and we are here to speak to Happy himself on what they do. Just to give you a brief background, they are focused on teaching pottery and selling their craft as well. But beyond pottery, they focus on different forms of ceramics. And we are here to present to you the history and some valuable insights on the crafts. So let's go, guys.
Happy Ideal is my name. I'm a potter, so I make so that it's yes, and then we teach. We also teach pottery. We teach people to really appreciate. So our role is to facilitate the preservation of African art, especially. Through teaching, exhibitions, forums. Yes, we do. So we do center table. We have a matching table. We're producing art volumes of exporting all over the world. Our main market was the US. Yeah, actually, so way back, 37 years less, I went to college here in the US to do architecture. So while in the first year there was a demonstration. So all the three universities at the time, if one university demonstrated, the three would for the other two follow up. So they closed down. They closed down school for 10 months. 10 good months we were home doing nothing. So God wanted to change my course of life to what He wants me to do. He called some people to, okay, my uncle will do my living and get some people to make some football in the house. And the wheel was not an electric wheel, it was a manual wheel. And I was fit to kick, to whine for this porter, okay, for me in the boat. So every day I found myself behind the wheel, winding, and these guys would come with a lump of clay. Within some few minutes, a lovely bowl, and they do the leg. The next day, they do several in a day. The next day, they will come, trim it, design, and allow it to dry, and then leave it on fire and glaze. I was so impressed, so impressed. Just a lump of clay turning into something so lovely. So I began practicing. When they closed, I would ask my younger ones also to kick for me and I'll practice. So whatever I observed during the day, I'll practice. One day they came to work and I asked if I could try my hands to do something, and they said, "Oh, Happy, go ahead." I made a lovely boat to their surprise. That was the turning point. So one of them called me aside and said, "Happy, you know what? I believe God is giving you this as a gift, not architecture, but you decide for yourself." And the decision I made. So it didn't just end that way. I went asking. Okay, I went to school, back to school. I went to the College of Art, asked some few lecturers about their opinion on my change. I wanted to change. And I met one capable, he's passed on now. Very good ceramicist. So he encouraged me, said, "Oh, Kojo, it's okay, it's fine. You just come. He had a pending exhibition. An exhibition with the American Embassy in Accra. This was in Kumasi. So he engaged me to help him. This time around it was artistic. We're doing several artistic features. So he took me through all the processes. In the end we came Wrigley's came to Accra, did the exhibition. It was a lovely exhibition, successful. I saw how people reacted to clay work. I could not believe several dollars was placed over and it bought. So that sealed it all. And so when school reopened, I always say I hopped from the architectural faculty to the art faculty. And I said, no regret. I love clay. Especially when I meet people. When I engage people to help them from something. The best thing.
Please tell us how you've kind of infused yourself into your way. What your process looks like.
Well, personally, I love forms that are not regular, irregular. It has a texture, it has a feel. Okay? But apart from that, we do regular ones as well. Okay, so the designs vary. Sometimes it depends on the client, the person we're designing, what the person wants. Designed to me that. Otherwise, personally, yes, I will show you some personal forms that I've made. Okay. So you see the pot over there here, irregular forms.
And with regards to your design, your personality, could you please talk more about the cultural significance of yours? I definitely know pottery is very central to Ghanaian culture, but I wanted to know from your perspective what I'm going to do in terms of the design.
Okay, so as you rightly said, pottery, it's part of human activity. Okay, culturally, pot making, pottery, is part of every culture. God has endowed every nation, almost every community with some type of clay, and so people begin to form utilitarian items. They're beginning with utilitarian, and then they do other forms for trade, commercialization. Okay, for some for aesthetics, some for religious purposes. Yes. So, personally, I have a line for modern art. So some of the forms that are made culturally, in ancient times. If I pick a form like that and I want to do it, I turn it into a more contemporary version. Yeah. But let me just say this. I said pottery is part of human activity and it cannot be separated because every day in, day out, we need to use some clay form. If it's not a cup, it's a bowl, it's a plate, it's a pot. And the best material to cook from, to eat from, is not metal. Also, plastic is out. It's not, it's clay. Clay is the best material. So, very healthy.
This reminds me of something my mother used to do. How women with siblings when they were younger, just them around the clay bowl and food.
Yep. And for water storage also, in the olden times they have these large urns buried. Some are buried in the ground, some half buried just on the surface with water or grains stored in. Pottery in Ghana, historians have dated it to be to have started from the 13th century. But if pottery is part of human activity.
It's been there.
Then it predated millennia.
Yes.
You see, history, I mean, literature has nothing, I mean, it's way past that. So, ever since humans started living in communities and wanted to have a storage facility, utensils, they began exploring materials that are sustainable, and they found clay to be so. Very interesting. How did pottery start? In the world, prehistoric times. They were hunting, agriculture was the number one thing, but they needed something to store. And so the hunters went out, it rained, and their footprints left marks on the ground. Later on, they found out that some particular footprints did not dry out of water because it was able to hold water. I said, this material is not like the sand. Okay, so they picked a bit of it, to try out. They tried to make basket out of reeds, but that got bent during bushfire. So they decided to plaster the basket with this material. And when the fire came again, it bent the reeds, but left the clay. I said, this material is the best.
I think that's you've just given me a lot to think about. It's something that I've always known, but I think that it's just kind of symbolic of the fact that pottery, like many other art forms, is reflective of different ideas and movements in our history. Essentially, it gives us a record of human history and human evolution, cultural evolution, and I think that's one thing that people tend to take for granted.
And also, if you look through archaeological findings, what remains after all destruction, after geological years, is cards of pottery shards.
Yes.
That is a leftover. That is what tells the history about life sometime generations past. So it's a very good material, and it will last forever. I think so. Even the spacecraft, the material that is able to withstand the heat that comes out of that is ceramic material. It's a very, very broad area. No one industry can say, okay, we are doing everything in ceramics.
How does being a teacher make you feel?
Great. I could just imagine how God has been teaching us but you need patience. In fact, in pottery, you need the greatest patience.
I imagine.
Greatest patience. So I believe God has always been teaching me to be able to teach others. First of all, patience. How to be patient. And then you can patiently teach someone who has no background at all, no knowledge, to be able to make something lovely.
I think at the end of the day, we are all students. It seems like you are a student in teaching and we are students in pottery.
I'm still a student because when people come, through the engagement, I still learn. So we talked about the olden time. It was the preserve of women, mainly for women. But then, and there was something mysterious, something about why men were not engaged in this art. We found out that the women, when they were going to win clay, would go naked. For some religious reasons, they would go naked. So they didn't want men over there. So men were not involved initially. But when wars, interregional wars happened, they captured some men, and turned them into eunuchs. So because they could not perform, they were more or less rendered women. And because of their muscles, they could go dip in the pit, dig more clay, so so that was it. They started involving men in the art, and it's passed on till it's got into me.
Yeah.
But then the modern pottery was introduced by Michael Ambrose Cardew, a British potter during the colonial era, came to Ghana, I think in 1942, and was tasked by the colonial officials then. He was teaching at the Achimota school. Achimota school is very, very old.
Yes.
So they had some facilities, brought in the potter's wheel, which we have today. They brought in the potter's wheel, and they were producing. So he was producing on commercial basis to serve the whole West Africa.
Oh.
Yeah, at the time. But then things happened, and it shifted to Alajo. Alajo, they built Hoofman kilns, and they were producing bent bricks for building construction. But there too, misunderstanding, the firing was a problem, and so he left and went to Vume in the Volta region and set up, and he wanted to prove that from a little structure you could produce mighty works. But unfortunately, when we got there, the clay and the kiln posed a problem for him, and his health also did not help him. So he left for the UK, abandoned the whole project, and later on was invited to Nigeria in 1950. So in Abuja, they also developed pottery over there, and it evolved till those of us, we call ourselves modern ceramicists. We have, but there's some names I can't remember all, but Ekem Ceramics, Ofori Dodu, Peter Tameklo, many of those. Yes, you have to come yourselves to really have a hands-on
experience.
Yes. We were formerly called Unique Ceramics, so we also evolved. Unique Ceramics to Happy Art, and so this is our little impact on the Ghanaian society. But you see, it's gone beyond Ghana,
yes,
and it's all over, because people sign up the book all the way from the youth, so wherever the diaspora and come.
Happy and his team at Happy Art are playing a vital role in transforming the landscape of pottery and ceramic works in Ghana and beyond. Their creativity and commitment continue to shape the future of the craft. In our next episode, we journey into the intricate world of basket weaving, engaging with skilled Ghanaian artisans through insightful conversations and hands-on weaving sessions. See you next time on Sɛnkɔ.